Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Being Intentional on Purpose. Today, I want us to talk about what does it mean to be intentional. Hi, I'm Famika Griffin, and welcome to Being Intentional on Purpose, a space where we stop moving on autopilot and start choosing our steps with purpose, where we rediscover who we are without the titles and is able to feel seen, understood, and inspired to step boldly into who we are meant to be. I don't have the answers by no means, but I am committed to finding them. So let's start being intentional on purpose together. So, I've decided before I start rambling all about all the different things that being intentional on purpose means to me, means to others, just the different episodes that I would love to put out on this podcast. I wanted to at least start off by talking about the title of the podcast all in itself, right? I wanted to take that moment and discuss what intentional means to me. You may say, Famika, your introduction to this podcast defines it for you. And you will be right to assume that because it does. But it also means so much more. So I want to share that. For me, being intentional means to shift my mindset from the autopilot and being present in the things that I do, I say, I believe in. I realize that my life has become like almost a rerun. I'm telling you, it's like I get up, I go to work, I come back. Well, I don't even come back anymore. I go to work. Once work is over with, I go back to in the house and doing things, the mother things, the wife things. But it feels like a rerun. Like I'm on autopilot. I'm doing it without even thinking about doing it or being conscious of what I am doing. It's just muscle memory. And so for me, I don't want my life to be such a muscle memory that I miss out on experiencing it, that I miss out on enjoying life. I want to get to a point where I can just stop and really absorb what is going on around me, really acknowledge what is going on around me and accept those things, the good, the bad, the ugly, right? I find myself just moving. Like I just said it about a week ago, if I can continue to move and I won't have to think about what is going on around me. But I want you to know this, that at some point we have to acknowledge what's going on around us, whether it's the good things, the bad things, the ugly things. It's still going on, right? Life is still lifing. And as long as God allows us to wake up every morning with oxygen in our bodies, then we have a purpose for that day. And what does that purpose look like would truly depend on you listening to God and the guidance that He's giving you for that day. Now, just in case you didn't know already, I am a very spiritual woman. I think that was probably like in the very first introduction episode that I gave. So if you don't serve the same God or don't feel connected to, one thing, then don't think that this isn't the episode for you or this isn't a podcast for you. It's just that we have differences in things, and that's just how the world is, right? Not every person is the same. And so whatever you see as your spiritual connection or your higher being or what gives you motivation and guidance, then that's yours, right? I can only speak for me, for Famika. And so I know for me, I am just trying to be more present in the moment. I'm trying to be more connected with what God has intended for me to be here for. And I think that's one of the main reasons why I decided to do this podcast is because throughout my life, I've always, come across people who has either fed my spirit and got me closer to God, or I fed into their spirit and got them closer to God. And so I just feel that this is now a time for me to, speak my piece or speak my truth, and hopefully others can get something out of it, and it helps them to be more intentional. It helps them to stop and, as we all have heard, like smell the roses, or just see life and be present in it and enjoy it. Because listen, you only get one full 24 hours, and you pray that you get that full 24 hours, and then that day is gone. There's no retake, there's no changing it, there's no rewind on it. That day is gone. And so I am now just wanting to be more aligned with my spirit, and aligned with what I'm doing, and being in that moment to enjoy it and to remember it. Like, I want to be able to take a picture of what I'm doing or what I'm seeing or what I'm feeling in that moment, and be able to put it in the scrapbook in my mind. Because I know that, Lord's willing, if I live to be as young as my grandmother, and my grandmother is 89, about to be 90 in February, I look at her and I look at her strength and her beauty, and just seeing all the years that she has lived and been able to see, so many family members born, and some of those same family members have died through her tenure on earth. And I just want to know that when I get to that age, and don't I hope to get to that age. My prayer is to get to 104. I'll tell you about that story on another episode. But if I get to that point in life, I want to be able to say, I have all of these pictures in my head, these scrapbooks in my head of all the memories that I have made throughout my life. But I can't make those memories if I'm not intentional about what I do on a daily basis. Instead of being on autopilot and be on muscle memory mode, I am stopping and I am enjoying the day, and I am making memories with my children, and I am loving my husband, and I am being the best daughter that I can be to my mother. I see us now, we're getting younger, and every time I see my aunts and my mom and my grandmother, I realize every time that life is life, and time wait on no man. And so if I don't leave you with anything today, the one thing that I want to leave with you all from this episode is just stop, slow down, enjoy the moments, enjoy the chaos, enjoy loving on your family. So until next time, have a wonderful week on purpose.